spring became fall. In this context, we find that to understand the African Spring, if this word can be used to express the wave of revolutions that swept the continent during the second decade of the 21st century, it must be placed in the appropriate international framework, in which the white man still holds the reins of his black lover, directing her movements with the tools that he has tightened his grip on since he claimed to have left her. The colonial division of the continent came in contradiction with the social-ethnic reality of African societies, as this industrial division produced two situations, which later formed the basis for the ethnic dimension in African civil wars. On the one hand, the colonial map brought together within one state groups that had never lived together and had never interacted before with each other in one frame. On the other hand, artificial political borders separated the ties of communication between single ethnic groups, which suddenly found themselves affiliated with different political entities. This is a common situation in many countries across the African continent. The occupation then played its malicious role in making problems between heterogeneous racial and ethnic entities. To ensure its control and hegemony, in order to consolidate the principle of divide and rule, that left a negative impact on the relations of African groups with each other, which in turn resulted in two other phenomena that the countries of the continent experienced during the stage of independence, namely, coups and civil wars. While the countries of the continent witnessed a decline in the rate of coups in the 1980s and early 1990s, the rates of civil wars increased, reaching their extent during the mid-1990s, when the number of wars and civil conflicts on the continent reached about 15 wars. With the beginning of the new millennium and the 21st century, the intensity of civil wars subsided, but the phenomenon of military coups soon re-emerged in conjunction with the wave of revolutions that swept across the continent. Coups were the colonizers' new tool to deal with any attempt at democratic transformation away from it in the countries of the continent.